Hello. See, I'm real. My hand's really here. This isn't AI. You're not dreaming. Welcome to the real world. Thanks, Morpheus. Can I get a yellow pill? Maybe neither one of these red or blue options is a very good one. Can we do yellow? Maybe purple? Can we do purple? Maybe meet in the middle? What's going on, everybody? Thanks for being here. Anthesius, Mirage, True Voice of Reason. What's going on? Hello, hello. It's good to be back. Today was a little bit weird. I wish that my health would settle the hell down. Don't like going back and forth and being ups and downs, and health issues are not always the best. But welcome. Hello to my friends before and after the fact. We are live. It is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm on here today for maybe a half hour-ish. I wanted to just talk about a quick topic that maybe some people can relate to. And that topic is the idea of prioritizing our two-channel music system, or investing more in doing more for two-channel music listening than we would decide to do with surround sound or home theater. Now, I know that there's a lot of people that love the home theater. Music, not so much. They love watching movies. They love being entertained. They love having a space for guests. And it's a great endeavor. I do enjoy it as well. I do have a gaming system. I did have a surround system for the longest time. It was an exciting time until I started having issues with the unit, and then the Denon unit that I had started giving me issues. There were power issues. I had power relay issues with the Denon unit. It was replaced under warranty, so that's good. But by the time I got everything kind of sorted out, this year's been a little rough. I've had to sell some things. I've had to part with some sort of designer limited edition clothing stuff that I had. I sold that. I had to sell my Denon unit because I wasn't using surround sound as much. I still have a TV. I still had two-channel speakers. I could still listen to my gaming sound, but I made the decision to sell it thinking I could upgrade, but I ended up using the money from the surround system to purchase or keep myself sort of afloat during my, work sessions and time off work and medical and things like that. So not a really great situation. It didn't turn out the way I wanted it to with the surround sound system. I wanted to get back into it. I wanted to reinvest in the gaming and continue to use like surround sound for gaming. I have a really decent Monolith, a Monoprice brand speaker, Monolith. They're really good. I've done A/B demos on my channel with the bookshelf and with the towers and with the center channel. So all of those sound demos are on my channel. Monolith is a very budget-oriented brand. They do sound and measure very well for what they are. If you can buy a pair for under $500, that's really good. Some of the bookshelves even less than that, or at least the towers are under $500 each. So very affordable options. In my case, if you want to have decent sound, but you don't want to spend a lot of money and you're not looking for like the highest level performance from a theater, I think that Monolith brand is a very good option. Let me take you on a walk. We'll move the camera a little bit. Forgive my movement here. We will go on a walk. I want to show you the Monolith towers and other speakers that I'm talking about. So I've got my light here, and I'm going to showcase what they look like. So these are the Monolith center channels. You can see that the logo there is turned to the side. So they would normally be like this. But I have them turned this way because I've been using them as my rear surround, and then I also had one here for my side surround. So there's my main listening position with the TV you see there. And I have the towers up here behind these beautiful SVS speakers. So here's the towers, same monolith branding with the waveguide. These are very dusty and dirty right now. I haven't cleaned them in a while. But I had my TV and everything set up. I had the theater set up where the main towers are there. The center channel was tucked underneath the TV. Right now, you see I have a Canto speaker there, and then there's the bookshelves for the monoliths. So it's a little bit of a mess in here because I'm not really using it. I also have these really cool height channel options. I'm using poles. It's a specific design that I have. I don't want to show too much of that. But yeah, the surround channels are on the back. All monolith. So I have 11 speakers. And it wasn't really much at all. The complete system was pretty cheap. I mean, it's a lot better than something like this. But at a significant, a little bit more cost. But I think that if you're going to get into surround sound and you want something decent, the Monolith brand is actually a really, really good bet, safe bet. They sound great. They're moderate, quality. They are Chinese built. It's just a vinyl wrap, but there's no significant problems. It's no different than anything else. So that's, like if you trust IKEA for any kind of build, then, stuff like this for Monoprice is just the same. So yeah, the system here, the surround system here kind of got put on hold because I had to sell some stuff, and I more or less doubled down on my 2-channel system because the title of the live session today is Music Deserves Better. And in my mind, my adoration and appreciation of music requires more quality. So the quality of the sound in here, the room treatment, the speakers, the preamp and power amps I'm using, the fact that I added subwoofers in here, I've dedicated all kinds of room treatment, tuning, more time. It's because when I listen to music, I feel more emotionally connected to the music. Not that movies don't have music, of course they do. If you ever try to listen or watch a movie without the music in it, it's not the same experience. You absolutely need the music in a movie. However, from scene to scene in a movie, in my opinion and in my evaluation, more personal taste actually, I don't want to say evaluation, I decided to invest more in music than 2-channel. And I mean more into 2-channel music than home theater because as long as I can hear directions, like in a surround sound system, as long as the heights work, the front channel, the dialogue works, I can hear it better than a TV, and I can hear that sounds are moving around my position. For me personally, I decided that was enough. I didn't need to update to the latest, greatest. I didn't need to pursue all kinds of fancy options for surround. I just got something that worked, something that was light enough to mount, something that had good reputation, that my peers have measured and praised. Back in the day, there were a number of friends that were sponsored by Monoprice. We had interviews with the sales director, designer. Oh man, why can I not remember his name right now? That's Hobie Seacrest, as far as I know, that's how to say his last name. Excellent dude. I really appreciated him. He actually helped me out a bit with the system building at the time. This was a number of years ago now. So I've had those speakers for 3 years, I think. And my 2-channel system really changed a lot. At first I got the Sonus Faber Lumina 2s. That was my first sort of like higher end speaker, even though it's the lowest end in their brand. I really appreciated those. And then I ended up getting the Lumina 5s, which are the towers in that series. And I put the Lumina 2s by the computer, but then, things just kept moving, kept progressing. And I ended up selling both of those, the Lumina 2s and the Lumina 5s, and I ended up buying the Arundel Towers last year. So now I've had the Arundel Towers for about a year, and in those 2 years that I've been buying and selling and building and growing the system, I ended up getting a number of different photography jobs. I was writing with Hi-Fi Pig magazine in Florida. I did a number of photographs and show reports with PMA magazine here in Canada. I went down to Expona last year in Chicago and helped my friend Jay out with some of his footage. The year before that, I was at Expona for that trip, and I went down there to help out Emotiva with some stuff. So in the number of years that I've been doing this, I've been slowly growing my system, but I've been focused more on this 2-channel system rather than building the home theater. Now I play games, or used to play games, video games, almost all the time, and I was enjoying the fact that I had the surround system. I still do. I mean, I still prefer to have the surround system, but some priorities had to be compromised, and then this room ended up being a dedication space. As you know, my mom had passed, and in that year, I spent a lot of time talking with her and understanding what was going on. And as hard as it was, I turned to music to help me, and I built the room to celebrate our opportunity to listen to music together, to build a playlist together, so I can sit here and feel comfortable and comforted by the music. And that's what really matters to me. More so than movies, more so than my gaming, I felt like it was important to invest into this space and have a space that I can come to and just enjoy myself. Much like, I feel like maybe that's what a lot of people do. They enjoy music a lot. They have a space or a system that they enjoy listening to music and revisiting some nostalgic songs and remembering a time in life that was great. Or maybe there's some songs that are sad but comforting, and it's I think it's a benefit to all people who love music to invest into 2-channel and to get your system sounding and performing as best as possible for your budget, because the music that the levels of music, the details in the music, the layers of production that some artists put into the music is worth revealing. If you don't have access to all of the work that they put in the studio, then you're not getting the full experience. I mean, really, you're not. And the further into the music, the more accurate you can make the music, the more connected with the artist you are, and the more emotional it becomes, because you can hear more of it. That's the general consensus amongst my friends and peers, is that the higher end you go in a system, to a point of diminishing returns, the sound changes in a way that you hear more of the music. That's the goal of most designers, is to have the lowest distortion with the most accurate sound reproduction. So thank you everybody here for being here. I appreciate that. I just saw the 6 people watching and 6 likes. I appreciate that. That's amazing. True Voice of Reason has said, and now I realize that afterwards some of the chat from the lives does become available. So thank you very much for that. True Voice of Reason says, they stumbled upon a new company today. Old name, new company. Daisium? I don't know. Daisium? I don't know. Daisium Audio, YouTube PC Graphics. PCB Graphics? Interesting. I have to look that up. I'm not really sure what that is exactly. What company? What do they have to do with anything? Are they an audio company? Are they like Daisium? I don't even know what that is. I know there's a Dayton Audio. I don't know that I recognize that name. And are you giving us the old name and the new name? So many questions, man. Jesus. I read anything and I'm like, oh my God. Daystrum. Okay, there we go. Fat finger syndrome again, I know. No wonder I'm like, what are you saying? That's okay. We out here today. It's been a rough day. Forgive me. My my days lately have been on and off. I've had stomach problems, and I've had to eat better and learn to eat better, and it happens. Crohn's disease is not fun. And then I'm also fighting my own lack of discipline where I'm not doing 100% of what I should be doing with my diet. So the stressors with comfort food, with dietary change, with discipline, and then failing myself, I feel this guilt of letting myself down. So it's been a thing for a while now, and I'm still trying to climb myself out of that mess. You can only do so much. You can have to forgive myself, realize I'm human, I'm going through things. But at the same time, being off of work too much is a real problem, even if I have medical exemption because it's a chronic illness and there's no cure. It does affect me, and I'm still learning how to change through those things. So it's been rough. I didn't want to get online today. I didn't even want to do a live, I'm going to be honest with you. But I remember Jay told me one time, you guys know who I'm talking about when I say Jay, right? Jay Ziyagi. He's a peer, a friend that lives in the city. We've talked a number of times on and off about audio and friendship and whatnot. And one of the things that he advised me when I was trying to do this thing is he told me, man, like don't give yourself the excuses. Just do it. Turn on the camera, do the recording, talk about something that you like, that you appreciate. And that gave me the motivation, and I believe he's right. I believe that, like Nike says, just do it. The swoosh. That motivation, that phrase is translating into more areas of my life where if I have to make a dietary change, if I have to make a sleeping pattern change, if I have to make a audio system change, if I have to support myself in some sort of important way, if I have to make a sacrifice in order to make something work in a better way, then the hesitation or the second guessing or the overthinking or any of these emotional, personal, interpersonal sort of issues sometimes just stops you from achieving better. So I've had to listen to some of this advice and take it personal, to have some self-respect to push through those issues. So in that regard, like why I was saying I've invested more into audio 2-channel and music listening rather than home theater is because I need that sort of place to listen, to be comfortable. I don't re-watch movies as much as I re-listen to music. When I'm listening to Top Gun or Mission Impossible, I'm not listening to Tom Cruise's voice and saying, wow, it doesn't sound the same today. With movies, I don't identify differences in sound as much as I do with music. If I hear something in a recording or a music, that things like that, I can hear if the tone of the guitar is off, or the drums are a little bit more bloated, or the cymbals don't shimmer the same. I can hear those differences, but with movies, if I listen to it in certain places, I can't really hear those differences with movies. For me, it's too inconsistent. It's more contextualized. It's in the framework of the movie. Also, your eyes are distracted. There's a lot of visuals going on, so your senses are being pulled in different directions. Also, movies are supposed to be so loud you can feel it. So you've got your body distracting, you've got your eyes distracting, you've got whatever you're trying to think about in the storyline. You're like, oh, who said this? Where are they going? What are they doing here? What's going on? What just happened? Who's this new character? Oh, this is about to happen. So your mind and your body and your senses are very engaged, I find, at least with me in movies. The detail retrieval for myself isn't as good with movies as it is with music. So that's why, again, to reinforce the name of the podcast, or at least the stream today, is to say that music deserves better for me, in my opinion, because I re-listen to music much, much more, and I can appreciate quality and clarity in music more than I do in movies. So that's why I have a 2 channel room, and that's why I've dedicated most of my resources and time and investment into 2 channels in music rather than my movies. Now, will I eventually try to have both? Yes, I would like to have both. But if I have to choose one of them, I'm not sacrificing my music for any of the other things. I would rather sell other things or compromise on other areas than to compromise where my music is concerned, because personally, emotionally, mentally, I really need to have the music in my life, whether it's reducing even music in a room to even having personal headphones somewhere that I can escape and I can appreciate quality in that sense. Like, that would be the reductionist, minimalist version, is to have a headphone setup where I can sit in a comfortable chair and I can put on the headphones that feel like nothing, and I can just listen to the music that way in a 2 channel environment. Arguably better than even a lot of really high-end rooms, because with rooms you get all kinds of bass problems, you get all kinds of listening position problems, you get all kinds of interference problems. The room affects the sound. But when you've got headphones on, whether they're closed or open, the sound field between your ears, the way that that is calculated and mixed, gives you some of the highest level, maybe accurate, I haven't seen measurements, but I'm going to say maybe some of the most accurate reproduction in sound that you can get. So this will couple into, and I'll spend the last couple minutes here talking about future of hi-fi. And I think that there's a really, really big reason why headphone audio is very, very big right now. And that's because a lot of people don't have or can't afford the space like I'm using in my place right now for 2 channel audio. It takes up space. You have to not only have space to put them, but in order to get it sounding great, you have to move them around in the room, and then you have to position your chair in the room, and then you need to run all kinds of cables and power, and it's a lot. You have to invest a lot more money to get 2 channel in a room sounding good than you would if you were just putting on headphones and then that's it. If you spent $1,000 on a set of headphones and maybe another 1,000 on a DAC streamer with headphones, you're invested maybe 2,500 at the most if you're going to get extra cables, power supply, power cables, maybe a comfortable chair. My speakers alone, my tower speakers alone, are 4,600 US. That's already a lot more than I already just listed for 2 channels. So, you know, Cracks is here. Thank you for joining and being here. Says, for real, convinced spelled wrong, but I forgive you. I'm sorry. That's my, never mind. So he says, I convinced my friend easily to switch to speakers when I showed them mine. Well, yeah, for, you know, when you have the ability to just showcase like really high-end speakers in a room, you can get it to sounding so amazing and so much better than a lot of stuff out there, especially for music. You can definitely convince someone of that. But then there's that one other level where you go from speakers in a room to headphones, and then looking at the prices of each, then it's a really hard sell. Are you going to, like, a lot of people that I know are young don't have the money anymore. They don't have homes. Maybe they live with roommates. Maybe they live in apartments. Maybe they have compromises. They don't have these abilities to have full systems. That's like, True Voice of Reason saying, copy and paste it before it disappears. Daystrom, I can easily just put it into my phone. I don't need to worry about it. And that's what I'll do, is I'll just look it up in here. So headphones. Headphone audio is, it's like that's the next step in, you know, the next step in hi-fi for some people, because setting up your room and designing a room for hi-fi is A lot of people are limited. So and then VCV graphics. Is it graphics with an X? I think it is. Yeah, so to wrap this up, because I don't want to be on for more than a half hour today, the idea of preserving and doing as much as you can to like enhance your 2-channel music listening, in my case, like I was saying, over surround sound or gaming, is to get closer to the music, because music to me is more emotional than it is enjoying a movie and being immersed and having my ass moved around by big subwoofers. Like I'm not as fascinated with visceral feelings. I actually prefer if bass isn't boomy and punchy, and I don't necessarily want to feel the music. I want to hear the music. You know what I mean? That's personal for me. I must be very different in that sense, or maybe my sense of hearing is different. I want to hear my music drop all the way down to the lows, but it's sort of synonymous, or I guess synonymous is the same, where if you have loud enough bass at certain frequencies, it is going to shake the room. It is going to move things. So you're going to feel it in the air, but I don't really need things to be pressurized. I'm not chasing that as a music listener. I just wanted to reach the lows so I could hear them. It's very different. So for me, almost a good set of headphones that's flat and not emphasized in the wrong way is sometimes even better than my 2-channel system in my room, because in my room I have all these bass nulls and things are not perfect, but if you have headphones on, it can pressurize and you can dial it in a little bit better. Maybe there's a future change there where I don't need to have this room and I can set up just headphones. I don't know. It's not preferable. I don't prefer headphones to speakers. I prefer the room. It sounds different. It sounds more natural this way. Headphones is very compressed, not compressed. What's the word? Close. It's too close and intimate. You don't get a sense of space. Natural sounds in the real world, your ears, the environment, when you're outside, when you're in a forest, if you're walking anywhere, you can hear directionality. Things literally move from around you. So a 2-channel room or a surround system is more natural than it is with headphones. Headphones are too close, even with spatial audio where they're using time delays and certain psychoacoustics to work. I get it, but I don't prefer it. You know what I mean? Cracks is saying, but the experience, sorry for English, not my language. No, so don't worry about that. Not everybody's English, and I'm just being a dick calling out language spelling, so don't worry about that. But the experience is way worse with headphones. The feel of the sound is just not the same. Oh, okay, there. And I didn't read what you were saying before I expressed my topic, so we were actually on the same page there. And you're right, it's not the same thing. It's too intimate, too close, slightly artificial. But then here's an important topic. We're on a couple minutes over maybe. Here's an important go aside to that. So 2-channel music right now, there are some kids, younger people, a generation of people right now, for the most part, I'm going to say 95% of their music or media consumption is headphones only. So to them, that's normal. And if you come from a space where really wide baffle, poorly built, like 70s speakers is normal, a lot of the stuff that's being made now, new technologies, new sound signatures, new music streaming, digital, this doesn't sound normal. It's not that we're going to say one sounds objectively better than the other. I mean, measurements are going to show certain things, but it's true that we can become accustomed to a certain taste, feel, sound. We as people become, and we can become attached or assimilate to a comfort. It's a comfort zone. We're used to it, right? Like you've made a certain recipe this way your whole life. Your mom made one, your grandma made one. You eat it the certain way. Like you think like that's the way spaghetti and meatballs is supposed to be made. You make it with this, you have it with this, you have it with this. And then if you go to somebody else's house, you go to a restaurant, you go to any other place, and you have, you know what the phrase is, right? I want to see it in the chat. It says like tastes like home. I feel like our human psychology and our tendency to seek comfort attaches itself to these sounds. So when you have a generation of kids growing up where listening to stuff through their phone loud, or a Bluetooth device very loud, or their headphones a lot of the times too loud, is doing two things, I think. One, it's conditioning them to become used to that sound, and that's what they seek. So there's no need to really move on. To showcase them something else is outside of the comfort zone. And we all know what people do with the comfort zone. They don't like to leave. They get boxed in. You know what I mean? Two, hearing loss. And this goes back to another topic I talked about a couple of days ago, with like getting a hearing test, finding out how well you can actually hear, and then do evaluation with subjective sound analysis. So it's important. I think that the volume of sound in headphones with like gaming and being forced to wear headphones at home and not being able to play music loud with anybody else, not disturbing other people, or if you're the kind of shithead that rides on the public bus with your phone blasting as loud as possible, I mean, maybe you have hearing loss already, and that's why you're using speakerphone, because you want it louder. You can't hear anything. There are people of all kinds. So let me read these last two comments. Crack says that's true. For example, most people care about the bass. Then when you are more into audio, get into the mids and highs. And for me, it's like that. I started with big bass and a big bass Logitech. So yeah, exactly. So when you graduate, when I feel like you mature through your audio journey, it moves slowly from sensation to appreciation. That's a good catchphrase. I want that on a shirt. From sensation to appreciation. Trademark, bitches. Buy my sock merch. True Voice of Reason says, used to have a radio show called For Headphones Only. It was high resolution vinyl over FM show that really came through well in that way. Actually, yeah, you know what? I think I know that back in the day, disc jockeys were named DJs over the radio, even because they were playing vinyl through airwaves. Now, FM radio doesn't have the right bandwidth for high resolution. You're getting your highs cut off, you're getting your compression. So when you move to digital 24-bit 192 or even 96, 2496, which is a DTSX or DTS master audio standard, then you're getting your uncompressed audio with better dynamic range, lower noise floor, and your high frequency range is better. So vinyl has its natural cutoff. I believe True Voice of Reason has given us 50 to 15K for FM radio, I think, or for vinyl. So in order to reach that other level, you have to experience beyond analog, beyond broadcast, beyond these like limiting sort of factors like wireless, Bluetooth, headphones in general have this intimate sort of, yeah. So yeah, clarity, True Voice of Reason is confirming 50 hertz to 15 kilohertz is the bandwidth for FM radio. So you don't get low bass and you don't get really high airy high frequency. Hairy. We want hairy audio. We want hairy audio. I've gone over my half an hour today, folks. I'm going to leave it open. I'll stay on for another 5 minutes. If you have any questions, please enter them in chat now. I'll spend 5 more minutes and I'll answer those. There is a delay between what I'm saying and when you're going to hear it, so I'll give you 5 to get the questions in. Then I'm going to head off for the day. It's been a good day. I got to watch a number of things online. I've been following along with a little bit of news, trying to not get upset, but a lot of it is upsetting. It makes me concerned for how people are going to react, what's going to happen with politics and policies. I know that people around the world are facing different things right now, so I'm concerned about how that's all going to go, but I don't want to get too into it because it affects me emotionally. It affects me in an anxiety way. So I just want to try to dial down a little bit. So for first question in, Cracks is saying, okay, what did you think about rip-off brands? For me, I made a speaker for $300 and it's better than my $6,000 Dolly Epicon speakers. Much better. Hey man, you know, there's something to be said about that. So when you do DIY, when you like do it good, because that's the trick, is if you're going to do it yourself, you have to apply types of techniques, materials, driver cost and component cost. You have to do those things yourself correctly in order to get to the level of where mass production stuff can be. But mass production designs overall have to meet a price point in order to sell en masse. So they compromise usually crossover parts, sometimes build quality. But if you're going to do your own, then you have to calculate how much of a cost it is to do it yourself at a certain degree to get to where other companies can do them for a certain price. So in general, I think DIY can achieve better sound, but when it comes to cabinet quality overall, cabinets are the hard part. So I think it would be really beneficial if there was like maybe a cabinet manufacturer that you can select certain options, kits, customized, you know what I mean? But then you're talking about money, because the best way to get the prices down is to order a lot of them. You know, they order in bulk, right? Like when certain brands buy cabinets from China or from Indonesia or from anywhere in Southeast Asia, because the labor's cheap, the materials are different, and they don't have environmental restrictions, then you can get stuff like polyester or whatever finished in paint, and they do all kinds of stuff in those areas because the government doesn't restrict them from doing it. I actually just heard that there's some Supreme Court judge or someone in the news is talking about getting rid of OSHA, the Occupational Safety, Health and Safety Agency. I don't know if it's true, don't quote me, I don't have no idea, but that's one of the things that allows other countries in different places to do the things that they do with materials that can't be used in North America, because OSHA prevents you from doing it. You can't use certain techniques and certain materials because the regulatory health agencies or whatever won't let you do it. I mean, obviously for good fucking reason, but I just heard recently, and maybe it's fake news, that they're thinking about getting rid of OSHA for that reason, or maybe that reason, that's my guess. Because if they do get rid of it, one, they can have more untrained laborers doing work, and if they get rid of the regulatory thing for health and environment or whatever, then they can also start using unsafe types of whatever in order to get their businesses going. Could be good, could be bad. I mean, then we would have jobs locally, but then we would be running the safety risks of personnel and environment. I don't know, I'm just putting it out there. Red side candidate said that. Yeah, so there you go. I don't know. I mean, who is the red side? I don't even know, because I'm not from the States. I don't know who's red or blue. Red here is liberal. Blue here in Canada is conservative. I would prefer, considering all of the shit that's been going on lately, I like that you're not using actual names. It's a good good way to do that. So in this case, if someone on that side for business, I can see why it would be considered, but I don't think it's a smart idea. Cracks is saying, I have no idea. I live in Switzerland. Oh, I guess it's pretty late night there for you then. If you're on and watching the stream from Switzerland, it's got to be really late night there. Well, thank you for joining. I hope to maybe do more streams, maybe on the weekend. I have a couple weekends coming up where I'm going to be free to do a number of things. I need to get my demos done, do more videos. So Cracks, thank you for joining and being on late. True Voice of Reason. True Voice of Reason is like, have a chocolate for me. Swiss chocolate. Oh my God. You guys are hilarious. So Mirage Bryson was here. I saw Ash was here for a bit. Thank you guys for joining and watching. Thank you for asking your questions. I appreciate you. I'm going to head off. It's heading towards 41 minutes now. Got a bit of a headache. Got to start to dial down before the end of the night. I will be back on the weekend, so there won't be any live streaming or videos or anything until the weekend. You guys are free and clear, so no Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday. I'll try to set up something maybe for Friday night. So enjoy yourselves, enjoy the music, consider what I've said, pay attention to the politics. Please use some critical thinking, encourage critical thinking, encourage skepticism, encourage validation, and not validation, but verification. Please spread that message despite everything else, because we need an improved world out there. It's just the way it goes, you know. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, people for watching, persons for watching. I will see you in the next video towards the weekend, maybe Friday. Notifications, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and Facebook with the same name. SVS review coming, Orchard Audio Monoblocks review coming, and a revisit to the Arundel Towers coming with the integration with the SVS subs. Those are the things that are coming up. Beyond that, look forward to the synergistic research, review, evaluation, opinion, power conditioner, power cables, speaker cables, RCA cables. That's coming up at the end of everything. They need more time to kind of work through. Okay, that's enough for me. Thank you very much for the day. My prop is too far away. I was going to do something silly. But anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for being here. I'll see you all soon.